Picture the most valuable company in the history of the world being told it's no longer welcome in the largest technology market on Earth. Not fined, not warned. Shown the door. That's what just happened to Nvidia in China, the company whose chips power virtually every artificial intelligence system on the planet. The company that became worth more than the entire economies of most countries has just been pushed out of China by the Chinese government itself. Beijing has effectively told its biggest technology giants, the Alibabas and ByteDances and Tencents of the world, to stop buying Nvidia. Cancel the orders, sell off whatever inventory is left, and from now on, you buy Chinese. And here's the part that makes this almost poetic. For 3 years, the story was the exact reverse. It was the United States slamming doors on China, banning the sale of the best Nvidia chips, trying to choke off China's access to the silicon that powers modern AI. The whole world watched America wield Nvidia like a weapon. And now, in a twist almost nobody saw coming, China has taken that same weapon, turned it around, and pointed it the other way. We don't want them anymore, Beijing is essentially saying. We'll build our own. It is one of the most dramatic reversals in the entire technology war. And this is exactly the kind of story where the headline and the reality pull in different directions. The truth underneath is far stranger and more interesting than China bans Nvidia at the end. There's a secret dependency Beijing isn't advertising. There's a question of whether this is confidence or a calculated bluff. And there's a real chance this backfires spectacularly. I'm going to walk you through all of it. By the end, you'll understand what actually happened, why China would reject the best chips on Earth, who's stepping in to replace them, and whether this is a masterstroke or a massive gamble. Let's get into it. To feel how strange this moment is, you have to rewind and remember how we got here. Because the whole thing reads like a story with a twist ending. Act 1 belonged entirely to America. Worried that advanced AI could hand China a military and economic edge, the United States rolled out wave after wave of export controls. The crown jewels of Nvidia's lineup, the chips that train the world's most powerful AI, were forbidden from sale to Chinese buyers. Washington even leaned on Nvidia to create deliberately weakened, China-only versions of its chips, throttled down to stay just inside the legal lines. The message was unmistakable. You may buy our scraps, not our best. For a while, China took it. Chinese companies bought the watered-down chips because something was better than nothing. They grumbled, they stockpiled, they waited for the politics to shift. Everyone assumed that the moment America loosened the rules, Chinese firms would come sprinting back to Nvidia with open wallets. Then came the twist. In a surprise move, the US actually approved the export of a more capable Nvidia chip, the H200, to China. The door cracked back open. And this is the moment everyone expected China to pour through it. Instead, Beijing slammed it shut from its own side. China's government turned around and told its companies, don't buy them. Don't buy the H200. Don't buy the consumer cards either. We're not interested. According to reporting from the Financial Times, Chinese firms that had even placed orders were told they couldn't follow through. American officials confirmed the bizarre situation out loud. The US Commerce Secretary publicly acknowledged that Nvidia still hadn't sold the chips because China itself was blocking the imports. Let that sink in. America spent years trying to stop China from buying these chips. Now America is willing to sell, and China is refusing to buy. The jailer unlocked the cell and the prisoner said, "No thanks, I built my own door." That is the reversal. And it raises the obvious, almost dizzying question. Why on earth would China reject the very technology it spent years fighting to get? It sounds insane at first. Turning down the most advanced AI chips on the market is like a thirsty traveler refusing a glass of water. But once you understand Beijing's reasoning, it stops looking crazy and starts looking like cold, deliberate strategy. There are 3 forces driving it, and they stack on top of each other. The first is the hard lesson of dependence. China learned something painful over the last few years. Relying on a foreign supplier for a critical technology is a leash, and the other end of that leash is held by your rival. One day, the chips flow. The next day, a politician in Washington signs a paper and they stop. You can't build the future of your entire economy on a supply line someone else can cut whenever they please. From Beijing's view, every Nvidia chip bought is a vote of dependence, and every Chinese chip bought instead is a step toward never being strangled again. Even if the domestic chip is worse today, it's yours. Nobody can take it away. The second force is more cold-blooded: leverage. By refusing to buy even the chips America is now willing to sell, China sends a loud, deliberate signal. We don't need you. Whether or not that's fully true, saying it loudly changes the balance of power at the negotiating table. It tells Washington that the export control weapon is losing its bite, that the threat of being cut off doesn't terrify Beijing the way it once did. Some analysts believe this entire move is partly theater for exactly that reason, a power play designed to win better terms in the broader trade war by projecting total independence. And the third force is the most practical of all, protecting the home team. By clearing Nvidia off the field, Beijing hands its own chipmakers something priceless, a giant, guaranteed captive market with the most fearsome competitor suddenly removed. Imagine being a young company trying to sell soda in a country where Coca-Cola has just been ordered to leave. Overnight, every thirsty customer is yours. That's what China just did for its domestic chip industry. It didn't just block a rival, it gifted its own companies the single largest AI market on the planet, with no Nvidia in the room. 3 motives: security, leverage, and protectionism, pointing in the same direction. But a strategy is only as good as the alternative behind it. Kicking out Nvidia only makes sense if someone at home can actually fill the hole. So who's stepping up? This is where the story gets genuinely interesting, because China isn't betting on one savior. It's unleashing an entire roster of domestic challengers, each circling the space Nvidia left behind. At the front of the pack, unmistakably, is Huawei. If you've watched this channel, you know Huawei has become the central character in China's chip saga, the company America sanctioned hardest, which somehow keeps clawing its way forward. Its Ascend line of AI chips is now positioned as the literal backbone of China's state-backed AI ambitions. And Huawei has a clever answer to a real weakness. Individually, its chips still can't match Nvidia's best one-on-one. So instead of fighting that battle, Huawei changed the rules. It built what it calls supernodes, systems that lash thousands of its own chips together into a single massive cluster. The logic is blunt but effective. If one of your chips is weaker, use far more of them, wired together so tightly they act as one brain. Huawei's deputy chairman openly admitted a single Ascend can't beat a single Nvidia chip, then claimed its supernode clusters are the most powerful in the world anyway. Brute force, engineered cleverly to turn a weakness into a non-issue. But Huawei is far from alone, and that's the part most coverage misses. There's a whole ecosystem rising behind it. Cambricon, a Chinese AI chip specialist, posted a revenue surge of over 4,000% in a recent period. Not a typo, 4,000, as orders flooded in from companies scrambling for Nvidia alternatives. Baidu has its own Kunlun chips, already powering a training system built from tens of thousands of processors. Alibaba's chip division, T-Head, is designing its own silicon. So is Tencent. The giants that used to be Nvidia's biggest Chinese customers are now, one by one, becoming Nvidia's replacements, building in-house the very thing they used to import. And there's a deeper layer still, one that hints at how far China's ambitions really reach. Some of these companies, like Alibaba's T-Head, are building their chips on something called RISC-V, an open, free chip architecture that anyone can use, completely outside the control of any single Western company. It's a quiet but profound move. It's not just about replacing Nvidia's chips. It's about escaping the foundations those chips are built on entirely, owning not just the engine, but the very blueprint of the engine. China isn't trying to swap one dependency for another. It's trying to own the whole stack, top to bottom. So the replacements are real, numerous, and backed by the full weight of the state, which makes it sound like a done deal. It is not. And this is where I have to be completely honest with you. Here's the part the triumphant headlines leave out. And it's the most important section in this whole video, so stay with me. Despite the ban, despite the bravado, despite the "we don't need you" messaging, China's AI industry is still, right now, deeply and quietly dependent on Nvidia. Not a little, enormously. Look past the announcements at the actual numbers. By credible estimates, somewhere around 75% of the chips training AI models inside Chinese data centers still run on Nvidia's technology. 3 out of every 4. The company has shipped more than 1 million of its export-compliant chips into China since late 2024, reportedly outpacing its closest domestic rival's shipments by something like 5-to-1. So even as Beijing publicly shoves Nvidia out the front door, an enormous amount of Nvidia silicon is already humming away inside the country, doing the heaviest lifting in Chinese AI. And there's a crucial technical reason for this, one we've touched on before. There are 2 halves to building an AI: training, the brutally demanding process of creating the model's intelligence, and inference, the lighter job of running it for users. China's homegrown chips have become genuinely competitive at inference, but for the hardest, most punishing work, frontier training, they still lag. As one analyst put it bluntly, Chinese companies can keep the lights on with domestic chips, but they can only sustain truly frontier-level progress with continued access to Nvidia hardware. The domestic chips can run the house, they can't yet build the mansion. So the honest picture is full of tension. China is banning the very chips it secretly still leans on. It's projecting total independence, while 3/4 of its most important AI work quietly depends on the rival it's pushing out. That's not a contradiction born of confusion, it's a high-stakes bet. Beijing is essentially saying, we will force ourselves to need you less by cutting you off now, and trust that the pressure makes our own industry strong enough, fast enough, to survive the gap. It's ripping off the band-aid before the wound has fully healed, gambling that the shock accelerates the cure. That's a bold, genuinely risky move, and it might just work, because, strangely enough, it's worked before. Here's the thing that should make anyone betting against China pause. We have seen this exact movie several times already, and it keeps ending the same way. Think back over the stories that keep surfacing in this space. Cut off from the world's best chip-making machines, China was told it could never make advanced chips, then it found a way to manufacture them anyway, using older equipment and sheer engineering stubbornness. Told it couldn't build a frontier AI model without American software, a Chinese lab went and built one that runs without it. Told its supercomputers would stall without forbidden processors, China built a world-class one on entirely different chips. Over and over, the same shape. A wall goes up to contain China, and instead of stopping, China is forced to build the very thing the wall was meant to deny it, and sometimes ends up with an independent capability it would never have bothered to create if the wall had never existed. This is the deep irony at the center of the entire technology war, and it's worth saying plainly. Restrictions meant to keep China dependent have, again and again, become the exact pressure that forced China toward independence. The leash, pulled too hard, taught the animal to live without one. Necessity didn't just inspire invention here, it practically mandated it, funded it, and gave it a guaranteed market. The Nvidia ban is simply the boldest version of this pattern yet. Instead of waiting for America to cut the cord, China is cutting it itself, on its own timeline, deliberately, to force its domestic industry to grow up faster. It's a country betting that self-inflicted pressure now is better than foreign-controlled vulnerability later. And given the track record, given how many times the impossible wall has turned into a merely expensive speed bump, betting confidently against China's ability to adapt has been a losing position for a while now. But, and I promised you honesty, confidence based on a pattern is not the same as certainty. This bet is bigger than the others, and the ways it could go wrong are real. Let me give you the other side, because no honest analysis skips it. The most obvious danger is the training gap. If Chinese chips genuinely can't handle frontier-level AI training yet, and the evidence says they largely can't, then cutting off Nvidia too aggressively could leave Chinese AI labs starved of the horsepower they need to keep pace with the absolute cutting edge in America. While a US lab trains its next giant model on a mountain of Nvidia's best, a Chinese lab might be stuck doing the same job slower, more expensively, on chips that aren't quite there. In a race measured in months, a self-imposed handicap is a serious risk. China could win independence and lose the speed race at the same time. The second danger is that this is partly a bluff that could get called. If a big slice of the motivation here is negotiating leverage, projecting we don't need you to win a better trade deal, then it only works as long as the bluff holds. If China's domestic chips stumble, if the supernodes can't scale, if the training gap widens instead of closing, then the we don't need Nvidia posture collapses, and Beijing is left having rejected chips it actually needed purely for a power play that didn't pay off. And there's a quieter problem. Even China's homegrown champions still aren't fully homegrown. Some of the most advanced domestic chips still rely, somewhere in the supply chain, on manufacturing tools and processes that trace back to foreign technology China doesn't yet fully control. True, total independence, every layer, every machine, every line of code domestic, is still a goal, not a finished reality. Declaring independence and achieving independence are different things, and the gap between them is where this bet could unravel. So this is genuinely a gamble. A bold, calculated, pattern-backed gamble, but a gamble all the same. It could accelerate China's chip industry by years, or it could leave it exposed at the worst possible moment. Probably, the truth will land somewhere in between, and we'll spend the next 2 years watching which way it tips. Here's my honest opinion. I think both of the easy reactions to this miss the point, and the interesting truth lives in the friction between them. The triumphant take, China just crushed Nvidia and declared total independence, is getting way ahead of reality, because 3/4 of China's serious AI work still quietly runs on Nvidia. and the hardest training problems remain unsolved at home. Anyone telling you Nvidia is finished in China is ignoring the silicon already humming inside Chinese data centers right now. But the dismissive take, "It's just posturing, China still needs Nvidia, ignore it," is the bigger mistake, and it's the one that's been wrong over and over, because it focuses on the gap that exists today and ignores the direction everything is moving. The single most revealing fact in this entire story isn't a chip spec or a market share number. It's this: when America finally offered to sell, China chose to refuse. That choice tells you Beijing has decided, at the highest level, that the future is worth a painful present, that it would rather struggle now on its own chips than stay comfortable on someone else's. Countries don't make that choice from weakness. They make it from a cold, long-term confidence that the gap is closable. And that's what makes this the most fascinating move in the whole technology war so far. It's not a country reacting to a wall someone built around it. It's a country building its own wall, on purpose, to force itself to become the thing it wants to be. That's either visionary or reckless, and honestly, it might be both at once. The pattern says don't bet against it. Common sense says the risk is real. The only thing I'm certain of is that we're watching one of the boldest industrial gambles of our lifetime play out in real time. So here's my question for you, and I really want your honest answer. Was banning Nvidia a brilliant power move, forcing China's industry to grow up fast and breaking its dependence for good, or a reckless gamble that could leave Chinese AI stuck in the slow lane right when the race is at its most intense? Did China just free itself, or just shoot itself in the foot? Drop your real take in the comments. I read every single one, and I have a feeling this one is going to spark a serious debate down there. If you want to keep following this, the bans, the breakthroughs, the bold gambles the rest of the world keeps underestimating until it's too late, subscribe to Eastern Engine and hit the notification bell. Chips, AI, the entire foundation of the modern world is being rewritten right now, and we break it all down clearly and honestly before the mainstream catches on. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.